Officer was killed in a shootout that also left a suspect dead. The slain officer is identified as 27-year-old Kenneth Novak, a 9-year veteran of the police force. Authorities are now combing this wooded area where the incident happened last night. Officers were checking out a car parked in the woods. That is when authorities speculate the suspect sneaked up on the officers and opened fire. Novak's partner was also wounded. Police are questioning a woman who was also in that car and hope to talk to the wounded officer as well. We'll have a full report from Robert Jordan later in our newscast. An investigation into a shootout that left a police officer and a suspect dead. The incident also injured a second cop, and authorities hope that officer and a woman now in custody hold the key to what caused the fatal gunfight. Robert Jordan has more on the story.
Police spent several hours combing the scene trying to piece together evidence which would explain why the shootout began. 27-year-old officer Kenneth Novak stopped to investigate a car with no license plate. The driver of the car was not in his vehicle. His female companion was left alone when Officer Novak approached the car.
She said they were having trouble with the car, and he asked her for some identification. He took that and went back to his car and was running a check on that license when the other officer pulled up his backup. And from there is when it all seems to go away because there's not communications across the line or from them. And so that's the point where it all seems to break down, where we've not been able really to piece it together without some additional information from the officer that's in the hospital and possibly some information from the young lady that was involved.
This morning, members of the Lansing Police Department were out scouring the woods adjacent to where the cars were parked, hoping to find some clues which would lead them to understand why the assailant was out of his car and what may have precipitated the shooting.
He was in his car, sitting in his car, running the check. We have the computers in the cars so that they can run an ID right on the car, right in the car. And both officers actually were sitting in their car as this occurred. So we don't know whether they either got their weapons out or at the time, or any of that at this point, and that's still part of the ongoing investigation.
The second officer, 25-year-old George Dragicevich, who was wounded in the stomach, was hospitalized in critical condition. He has since been upgraded to good condition. Ironically, both officers were wearing bulletproof vests.
The unfortunate part is that one was hit below the bulletproof vest, and the other officer who was deceased, the bullet went between the side panels on his. Now there was apparently another round that hit him in the back, which was stopped by the vest.
Lansing police say they hope the wounded officer can shed some light on how and why the shooting broke out. Robert Jordan, WGN News.